Almighty. It's a 203 American fantasy comedy film with a religious theme directed by Tom Sadak, written by Steve Curran, Mark O'Keefe, and Steve Oderkirk. Bruce Nolan, Jim Carrey, is a reporter for a local news station in the city of Buffalo. Unhappy with his job and eager to transform himself into the news anchor, when his co-worker Evan Baxter, Steve Carell, turns him down for the job, Bruce becomes irritated during a live interview from Niagara Falls, leading to his dismissal. After experiencing multiple adversities during the day, Bruce protests to God, blaming him for his bad fortune and claiming that God should be fired. The next morning, Bruce receives a message on his quest, which leads him to an enigmatic warehouse where he comes face to face with God, Morgan Freeman, who wants Bruce all of his abilities to see if he can do a job greater than God himself. In addition, God informs Bruce that now that he can possess all his powers, he can use them as his pleasures. However, God also warns him that there are only two essential rules for him. The first is that he cannot reveal to anyone that he possesses God powers, because according to God, it is not nice to be the main focus of the world. And the second is that he cannot use them to modify a free will of the humanity. That night, Bruce takes his date Grace, Jennifer Aniston, to dinner at the restaurant, where he asked her to be his girlfriend. She thinks Bruce is proposing, but he overlooks that and simply takes her to celebrate his success. On the other hand, Bruce begins to notice more and more voices in his mind, which at first he does not understand. Upon meeting God against at the summit of Everest, he explained to him that the voices he perceived are prayers addressed to God, and that it's now Bruce's responsibility to answer them. God also helps Bruce understand that he has been using his powers for his own gain instead of supporting others. Bruce decides to step up an email system to more securely receive the prayers so he can answer the prayers without Grace noticing. But as the endless number of prayers, even though they only came from a small area of Buffalo, eventually wears on his patience. He programs the system to automatically answer yes to all the prayers. When Bruce debuts as a presenter, the city is in chaos because of his actions. There are people who think the apocalypse is about to happen due to a meteorite fall, and a large number of citizens are using riots. Bruce is reunited with God, who explains to him that he cannot solve all problems and to try to solve them autonomously. Bruce begins to assist people and to attend to sentences in the best possible way. He also resigns from the position of presence and resigns it to Evan. Bruce is greeted by Debbie, Lisa and Walter, Gray's sisters, who comes to pick up Gray's goods. Debbie informs Bruce that Grace always begs for his assistance, Bruce reviews Grace's sentences in the mail and confirms that most of them refer to him. At the moment, another one comes up, but in contrast to the previous ones, this one asks to forget about him, as she still loves him but doesn't not wish to continue to suffer and be free. Walking in the rain and totally in remorse for what he saw, Bruce finally kneels down and surrenders, asking God to be the one to direct his life. But before he knows it, he had been let down in the middle of the road and ends up being hit by a truck, apparently dying on the spot. In heaven, God asks him what he really wants, and Bruce asks only that Grace find someone who will make her happy and treat her with all the respect she deserves from him. But failing that, God decides to give him another chance so he can live again and sends Bruce back to the earth, and he wakes up in the hospital, where shortly after he is beside by his ex-girlfriend, Grace, and they both manage to apologize for their past action and make amends. Days later, Bruce back to being a reporter, but now content with his work and already engaged to Grace, conducts a story on blood donation. The final scene reveals that a homeless man who appears several times throughout the film is actually God himself. The film invites us to reflect on the nature of faith, the divine power, and free will. The main message is that God's true power is not based on manipulation, but on love and respect for human freedom.